And it's okay if not. Cool. Good morning. Merry Christmas. So have any of you opened gifts yet this morning?
I have.
You did?
I got a tripod.
You got a tripod?
Yeah, I'm 8.
You're 8, so you got a tripod. That's pretty cool. So did you get any other cool gifts?
I got a chocolate fountain, a gumball machine.
A chocolate fountain, a gumball machine.
And a tiny camera where you can put on the tripod.
And a tiny camera for the tripod? Wow, that sounds awesome. So I think that's so cool that you got some really cool gifts this morning. And Nico, I think you probably got a few good ones too.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah, just a few, yeah. And so gifts are a really cool thing that we get on Christmas morning, or a lot of us anyway. We get to open some pretty cool gifts. Now, speaking of gifts and those toys and other things that we get on Christmas morning, have you ever had a friend or maybe a brother or sister or a niece or, not niece or nephew, cousin, niece or nephew for me. I don't think you would be an aunt or uncle yet. But have you ever had a friend maybe that had a toy that you thought looked really, really cool, but they wouldn't let you play with it? Maybe, yeah. Well, I know that's happened to me before when there's been like one of my friends, we got this really cool toy and he wouldn't let me play with it. I really wanted to play with it, but I wasn't allowed to play with it. And when that happens to us, how did you feel when that happened to you?
Sad.
You felt a little bit sad? Yeah, I did too. I felt a little bit left out. Like I was missing out on what a fun toy like that could provide, like the fun it could provide. And so I bring that up because our Christmas story has a really great message for us in that the shepherds were one of the very first people to hear about the birth of Jesus. But the shepherds, they were actually a group of people that were often left out all the time. Because of their job, they were watching sheep out in the field for often weeks at a time. And so they missed a lot of the things that happened in town. They weren't allowed to go, they had to watch the sheep, so they couldn't go to the parties in town. They didn't know about all the things that happened. And so it was like weeks later they would find out about all these things. And so they often felt really left out, kind of like how I felt left out when my friend had this really cool toy that I wasn't allowed to play with. But our good news today is a reminder that the very first people to hear about the good news of Jesus' birth were the shepherds, who were often left out. And so it's a reminder to us that Jesus and the message that Jesus teaches us when he gets older is not just for the people who get to know everything, but instead, Jesus' message is for everyone, even people who often get left out or ignored. And that's our good news today. And with that, I'd love to invite you to please repeat after me in prayer and invite the congregation to join as well. Dear God, thank you for baby Jesus, whose birth we celebrate today. Help us to remember that Jesus is the greatest gift. Not just for me, but for everyone. We love you. Amen. All right, thanks for coming up, everybody.